the dudes from like the Caucasus region, like all the guys from like Dagestan,
they've been at it for
Georgia, animals.
10 years ago, nobody could have imagined the storm that was about to rise from the Caucasus. But today, the entire world knows about their relentlessness, their ferocity, and their unstoppable dominance.
The guy's special. I've been in this game my whole life. I've never seen anything like him. He's special, he's different.
And he's gonna come after you. And he's got a very unique skill set.
There is no way I'm not gonna knock him out. That's why I'm the best fighter in the world and I'm finishing first round.
Many believe the era of warriors from the mountains would end with Khabib. Yet, here we are.
Someone just printed something or posted something about the UFC's top pound for pound list, and 6 of them are from the Caucasus region.
And reality tells a different story. Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev, Merab Dvalishvili, and Khamzat Chimaev now hold the top 4 spots in the pound-for-pound rankings. And something tells us this top isn't changing anytime soon. So, why are Caucasian fighters so dominant? What's their secret? Right now, we'll uncover the hidden side of the Caucasus. Sit back, get comfortable, because this is gonna be eye-opening. Next, we'll delve into the countries of the Caucasus. Dagestan, known worldwide, Georgia, a land only recently revealed to MMA fans, and the fearsome Chechnya.
Thing that you're good at, like what's the most important thing? It seems to me to be wrestling. Because the wrestlers can just, if you get a real high-level wrestler, they just dictate what happens. They dictate where the fight takes place.
If the beginning of the new century in mixed martial arts was marked by striking brilliance and high fight IQ, the following decade brought a massive shift. Let's be honest, MMA became globally popular because of its raw violence. This was a sport of blood, broken bones, and warriors clawing for their place under the sun. But then, something extraordinary happened.
But is wrestling the ability to take a guy from this realm and put him into this realm the least effective sport in martial art? Boy, that's an interesting question that just might be true that I don't want to be true.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, the Dagestani Eagle, showed the entire world what true dominance could look like inside the cage, all while taking almost no damage himself. He outstruck elite punchers, outgrappled world-class wrestlers, and remained firmly at the very top of the food chain.
We've never seen dominance like this. He's never been cut. He's never been dropped. We have never been in the Khabib Nurmagomedov fight and thought, oh my God, he might lose.
Make no mistake, the story isn't just about wrestling. The secret behind the dominance of these warriors lies much deeper in the details.
So now you're fucking with somebody that you don't want to. I don't have to bring this.
Sunglasses. In street fight, I can eat you. You understand? Who are you? You never fight in. You American guy. In American, you cannot fight in street.
There we go.
I am from real mountain. I can eat you in street fight.
Historically, the Caucasus has been a land of hardship. Children who would later grow into champions were forced to endure the toughest, most unforgiving conditions from the very start of their lives. In the early 2000s, Georgia was torn apart by internal conflicts. In Dagestan and Chechnya, full-scale wars left their scars. And it was the children who suffered most. Young boys destined to become great fighters grew up surrounded by death, crime, and violence.
He was in the school, he had a good life, he had the bread, but we didn't have that.
Yeah. I born in Germany. I lived there for 7 years. And then we moved to Georgia, and since 7 to 15, I was living there.
They were forced to mature far too early, to forget toys and childhood distractions, because survival meant learning how to fight, not for glory, but for the protection of themselves and their families.
And then when I was kid, we were tough people, and we used to fight a lot in the school and everything, and thank God, a couple years later, the government changed, and everybody, it was lots of jobs, the good police, and no more criminals, and nobody wants to be gangster anymore, but because they used to send gangsters in a jail.
That warrior mentality was forged in the fire of constant struggle and discomfort, and it turned out to be the ultimate investment. When a Caucasus fighter steps into the cage, there's something in his eyes, in his presence, that feels otherworldly. And that, above all, is the reason why Caucasus fighters are built different.
Merab combat sambo, right? He combat sambo, he take down many times Olympic champion, right?
brother, I was sorry.
In Georgia, wrestling isn't just a sport, it's practically a national identity. According to statistics, every third young man has trained in freestyle wrestling and carries those skills for life. But what truly sets Georgians apart is not just their wrestling, it's their mentality.
It's the third round that's the real close one, because I gave the first 2 rounds to Umar, and then you get into the third, you're like, ooh, that's the one. That one's close. Because the fourth and the fifth were clearly Merab was coming on strong. Merab was like, it was astonishing, his endurance. Astonishing. His fucking cardiovascular system's off the charts. It
was a good ass fight.
Merab the Machine Dvalishvili has already carved his name into UFC history, embodying the unstoppable energy and unbreakable will of the Georgian spirit. His dominance inside the octagon is built on relentless pressure, tireless cardio, and a skill set sharpened through years of hard training. But what makes Merab truly special is his self-belief. He is so confident in his abilities that even the very best fighters fade in his shadow. The Georgian fighter mentality is unique, and Merab is just one shining example.
And it's not that if I'm gonna win the belt, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna knock him out in the first round. They always used to be like this, but after the fight, you know what's happened.
Right now, Ilia Topuria stands as the best fighter in the world, and for good reason. Yes, his skills are elite, and his talent undeniable. But his greatest weapon isn't his strength, it's his mentality. Topuria carries a level of self-confidence that borders on unshakable. He fears nothing. He doubts nothing. He always believes he will win.
These shots. Well, he's already busted up. Out cold.
A man of his word.
Oh my goodness.
And now the new UFC lightweight champion, Ilia Topuria.
At this moment, Georgian fighters hold the #1 and #3 spots in the pound-for-pound rankings. Their combined list of opponents includes some of the most dominant and legendary champions the UFC has ever seen. Fighters who ruled the promotion for years. And yet, against these Georgian warriors, even elite contenders often look no more threatening than any ordinary amateur. This is only the beginning of the Georgian era in MMA. But as with every rule, there are always exceptions.
If you want your son high-level wrestling, send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
3 years?
Yes.
Yeah, you're out of your fucking mind. 2 weeks.
6 months,
2 weeks
one time you can call him.
We all remember Islam Makhachev's famous line, "Send him 2-3 years Dagestan and forget," a phrase that became a metaphor, and not by accident. Dagestan's success in the world of mixed martial arts is nothing short of phenomenal.
That's the problem.
Those tough people over there, man.
That's some tough people, man.
How crazy has it been watching all these dudes from Dagestan
God.
just invade MMA
I knew it.
and dominate?
I knew it. Because in wrestling, they've been around.
It began with Khabib Nurmagomedov, who before the eyes of the entire world broke the spirit of the notorious Irishman.
First of all, I want to say Alhamdulillah, God gave me everything. Alhamdulillah, I know you got this, you don't like this. Alhamdulillah, tomorrow night I'm gonna smash your boy, guys. I'm gonna smash your boy. And tomorrow night, inshallah, and still.
The shots you took when the kid jumped in.
I forgot about that.
Huh?
I don't give a balls with that. Those handbags.
Yeah. I didn't see Khabib jumping over that. I didn't see that coming.
Who cares about that? That's handbags. And here comes B. And that's that.
At first, the world dismissed Dagestan's style of fighting as boring, but when people witnessed the aggression, dominance, and evolution of the Dagestani school of MMA, they fell in love with the madness.
He's as good as it gets. He's as good as it gets. He's the most complete fighter on the roster because he submits people. Like he submitted Poirier in the final round.
Yeah.
Incredible submission. But he was winning that fight already. But then, you know, he can also knock you out. He literally does everything. He's one of the best wrestlers in the sport. His top control and his squeeze is insane.
Like it or not, it was Islam who truly showcased the Dagestani style at its peak. But he's far from the only one. Khabib, Magomed Ankalaev, and even Usman Nurmagomedov. All of them walked through their competition as if it wasn't even there. But what's the secret behind this dominance?
They were well-rounded enough because you try to pressure him standing, he takes you down. If you try to, apply some jiu-jitsu, his wrestling's so good he doesn't allow you. So from what I've seen, they haven't been able to put pressure on them because they don't have enough skills, the well-roundedness required to do that.
The foundation is, without a doubt, world-class wrestling. From early childhood, Dagestani fighters dedicate themselves to the mat, building strength, endurance, and an unbreakable fighting spirit. But wrestling alone doesn't explain it. Discipline and respect are at the core of Dagestan's success. Respect for elders, for coaches, even for their opponents. It's not just talk, it's a way of life. Discipline allows them to endure brutal training camps and execute game plans with precision. And then comes the true weapon, the Dagestani mentality, a hunger for victory that never fades, a refusal to surrender no matter the odds. They fight until the very end, because for them, there is no other option.
First of all, I want to say Alhamdulillah. You know, Allah always have better plan than we have. And you know, this week they asked me fight with 5 different guys. Hey, I say, I'm tired about this. If you can bring King Kong and he can make 155, let's go.
Makhachev once fought on with a deep cut, even when the doctor urged him to stop. Umar Nurmagomedov battled through an entire fight with Merab despite breaking his hand in the first round. Ankalaev refused to quit against Pereira despite suffering a severe strain. These moments aren't just random flashes of bravery, they are proof of the Dagestani spirit, forged through struggle and sacrifice. But Dagestan isn't the final monster of our story. The last chapter will take us into the heart of something even darker, something truly terrifying.
He's a scary dude, you know what I mean? Like I like it. He is next level crazy.
I think he's ready. I'm ready, bro. Just go in, fair works, bro. I'm gonna go all. I come to take over, man. Take his head and
go. He's a human like everyone else, so I knew I cannot take the guy down, control. I was surprised he didn't get his neck. So like Usman, I think he did that good job in the camp.
In his recent fights, Khamzat Chimaev hasn't looked like he's competing against elite fighters. He's looked like he's tossing around mannequins, ragdolls with no resistance. In his last bout, he outright bullied a dominant champion who had cleaned out an entire division. 22 minutes of control, a UFC record for strikes thrown. Chimaev is not just a fighter, he's a predator, a beast who always enters the cage hungry, with one goal in mind: smash.
Maybe because I want to fight. Yeah, I want to fight more than anyone. So I've seen a lot of fighters before the fights. Someone is crying, someone is like scared, and they have different emotion. But for me, it's like I said before, it's the normal thing. All my life, I does that. So train hard and fight hard. For me, it's normal. I'm happy to be there and fight.
The secret behind Chimaev's uniqueness? Of course, his world-class wrestling. Skill is so suffocating that no opponent can ever truly prepare for them. But what makes him even more frightening is his mentality. The mindset of a new UFC champion, forged in a culture most of the world has barely begun to understand. Chechen fighters are still largely a mystery on the global stage, but they carry something different. Khamzat's ruthlessness and dominance inside the cage are not just his own. They are a reflection of Chechen culture and tradition. The Chechen people are a nation with a long history of wars and conflict. Courage, resilience, and mercilessness toward their enemies are woven into their values. Every Chechen grows up with strict moral codes and a deep reverence for tradition. For fighters, this becomes their anchor, keeping them focused, disciplined, and unshaken throughout their careers. And beyond the cage, Chimaev fights with the weight of an entire nation behind him. His fans and people do not allow him the luxury of defeat.
Chimaev, bro, he's terrifying. He does it to everybody. Everybody he gets a hold of, he just ragdolls. Even like really elite wrestlers. It's very extraordinary. His talent is undeniable.
For Khamzat, victory is not just ambition, it's destiny. The success of Caucasian fighters in the UFC is not just the result of raw talent and endless hours of relentless training. It is the product of centuries-old traditions where courage, honor, and an unbreakable spirit are held as the highest values. Their universal style, fusing suffocating wrestling with devastating striking, combined with the mentality of true warriors, makes them one of the most dominant forces forces in UFC history. But perhaps the most intriguing part of the story lies ahead. What happens when these monsters eventually face each other? Who is the greatest among them? Who will stand alone at the top when the dust settles? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, see you later.